Genesis chapter 7. The Great Flood. Judgment and Salvation. Genesis chapter 7 verse 1. God calls Noah into the ark. Then the Lord said to Noah, "Come into the ark, you and all your household, because I have seen that you are righteous before me in this generation." The fact. God invited Noah into the ark as an act of divine protection. His righteousness was not based on perfection, but on his faith and obedience to God. The truth? Those who walk in righteousness before God will find his protection and salvation. The conclusion. Just as Noah entered the ark for safety, we must enter into Christ, our refuge from judgment. John chapter 10 verse 9. Genesis chapter 7 verses 2 through 5. Noah's preparations. You shall take with you 7 each of every clean animal, a male and his female, 2 each of animals that are unclean, a male and his female, also 7 each of birds of the air, male and female, to keep the species alive on the face of all the earth. The fact. God provided for the preservation of life, ensuring that clean animals were available for sacrifices and food after the flood. The conclusion. God is a God of order and provision. When he calls us to obedience, he also provides everything we need to fulfill his commands. Genesis chapter 7 verses 6 through 12. The flood begins. For after 7 more days I will cause it to rain on the earth 40 days and 40 nights, and I will destroy from the face of the earth all living things that I have made. In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the 2nd month, the 17th day of the month, on that day all the fountains of the great deep were broken up, and the windows of heaven were opened. And the rain was on the earth 40 days and 40 nights. The fact. The flood was not just from rain, but also from the bursting of underground waters, showing a global, catastrophic judgment. The truth. God is faithful to his word, both in judgment and in salvation. The conclusion. God's patience has limits. When he warns of judgment, we must act in faith before it is too late. Genesis chapter 7 verses 17 through 20. Noah and his family enter the ark. Now the flood was on the earth 40 days. The waters increased and lifted up the ark, and it rose high above the earth. The waters prevailed 15 cubits upward, and the mountains were covered. The fact. The flood covered even the highest mountains, showing the completeness of God's judgment. The conclusion. Sin cannot be hidden from God. His judgment is thorough. But for those in the ark, which is a shadow Christ, there is safety and deliverance. Genesis chapter 7 verses 21 through 23. The destruction of all life. And all flesh died that moved on the earth, birds and cattle and beasts and every creeping thing that creeps on the earth, and every man. All in whose nostrils was the breath of the Spirit of life. All that was on the dry land died. The fact. Sin brought universal destruction, showing that God's judgment is just and complete. The truth. While judgment is real, so is the truth of salvation for those who trust in God's provision. The conclusion. The flood foreshadows the final judgment. Only those who abide in Christ will be saved. Genesis chapter 7 verse 24. Noah remains safe in the ark, and the waters prevailed on the earth 150 days. The fact. Though the judgment was severe, God preserved Noah and his family in the ark, showing his faithfulness. The conclusion. Even in times of judgment and trial, God protects those who belong to him. Summary. Genesis 7 teaches the seriousness of sin, the certainty of God's judgment, and the security found in obeying him. Noah's faith and obedience saved his household, while the rest of the world perished in rebellion. Call to action. Enter the ark of salvation, Jesus Christ, before the door is shut. Walk in obedience like Noah, trusting in God's provision. Remember that judgment is coming, but God's grace is available now. Thanks for watching this video. May God bless you richly. Your brother in Christ, 𝓖𝓸𝓭'𝓼𝓦𝓸𝓻'𝓭'𝓞𝓷𝓵𝓲𝓷𝓮. Please share this video with your friends.